sense you're going to get a little healthier tomorrow potentially?
Yes, yeah, it's a good sign, and I think in all likelihood we'll see Matthias tomorrow.
What about Alex? Just maintenance day today?
Yeah, yeah, we got to get him ready for tomorrow, and we have back-to-back obviously. So thought he had a good skate yesterday, and that was enough to get him ready for tomorrow.
How intrigued are you just by Tyson, the former Temple pick, and he had success in the league, he's been in the league a while. What do you know about him?
Yeah, very intrigued. He has a very solid reputation, not only as a skilled player, a great person. He's a young talent, and he fits. What we're doing, what we're looking at here, and he was available. But yes, good person, good young, talented guy with lots of potential and already lots of experience from his days in Colorado and more recently in Minnesota.
How much can he help the PK at this point?
Yeah, he can. He's played that, and that will be a boost. And Matthias will be a huge boost to the PK. Huge boost. I mean, 6'3" presence, and that's his. He should get more than half of penalty kills. So the top unit. We're missing our top guy against the top unit on power plays, and so that should be a tremendous boost. But it may take Matthias a little bit of time. He's been out for quite a while and only played 4 or 5 games at the start of the year.
When you look at that top of the PK unit lately, obviously you're missing guys, but how much there just hasn't been the right mentality of it? I mean, Saturday, twice, 40 seconds, you gave 2 goals. Just hasn't been that.
Well, it gets to the psyche after a while. The first goal was even a one-timer wide that deflected off Tavares, who was going to miss the net. But credit to them, they were net front where it could go off them, but the shot was missed, and it just. But it gets you. The psyche affects you absolutely. So what you want to do on any case like that is simplify it to bring a little bit more clarity. And there's areas that you can target, whether it be consistent. How would you say it? Bulk occurrences within a situation. Like for a perfect example would be drop of the puck, face off. Better, quicker strategy there. Entries against, or patterns that you can look at that are automatic happening, and make sure your detail there is really good. And so we're trying to turn more to that in an effort to help, but it's going to be a process, and it's obviously something that needs to be targeted and worked on.
So it's not something system-wise. I mean, do you think the system of your penalty kill is good or in the way it needs to be, or does that need to be?
It's tricky because you're looking at personnel. Again, Matthias Samuelsson is a #1 penalty killer, and that's a real challenge. We know we've had to put lots of young guys in those situations, so there just hasn't been consistency from that end, which then can take its toll. And I think that's what's happened. It's taken its toll, which then it enters your psyche, and it complicates it even more. So we'll see. It's obviously an area that we're going to be targeting for greater focus and attention, and usually that is significant to helping. We just said two key. Jost has had experience there, and Samuelsson has been good there. So those should be a boost.
Guys, we're really looking forward to getting back to work on Saturday. What have you liked about the response lines?
They look a lot more like themselves. Again, the situation has brought about some anxiety, some feeling pressure, and I think when that happens and you feel that and you have anxiety, it takes away from you being you playing the way you need to play, and that's what I believe is what's easy to see. So to have guys come to the rink with more enthusiasm and more energy and the skate. We got off the bus yesterday, had a short meeting, and they went on the ice and were flying around better than we were the night before in Toronto after a 2-hour bus ride. So that's a little, so you can tell right there the psyche is so important and what's going on. So a couple good days on the ice, it needs to transfer into a game, and that's the goal.
Yeah, this morning when we talked to Kevin, he said he's calm but not comfortable. And the GM has different priorities. He's looking at roster construction and getting players. How is it for the coach at this point when you're in a situation like this? I mean, you have a different set of things you're doing than the GM is.
Yeah, it's not unfamiliar territory in the sense that I've had teams in situations just like this that come out of it better. So there's a reason to be confident and comfortable. I think when you look at a team that goes through this, I mean, as I keep saying, the facts are the facts. We put together a young team to give them this opportunity to go through these experiences, and with the thought that they're going to be better because of it and become better because of it. So I can stand here and I can say, yeah, we are going through struggle. It's hit the psyche. But I watch our players and I don't think they're less competent or capable. They don't have experience and they're getting it right now. And it's causing a lot of self-reflection. It's causing hesitation as a result, maybe overthinking things, but it's all dealing with pressure. And the NHL, typically you're in pro sports, you want the finished product. We have, and lots of times you get rid of your players before they're the finished product, and we see that all over sports, and you lose a guy, and it's guy after guy, and they're better in another organization. We got to stand by our guys and help them get through this, while we know they're thinking consciously and not how the game is played at pace subconsciously. And I do believe we're going to be better because of it. When I look at that, our guys care, they're trying to find solutions, but they don't realize the solution is simple. Don't hesitate. Don't play with fear. It's things that I've talked as a real concept, core parts of our identity that we needed that have slipped or been pushed off track. So again, the psyche in practice is they fly around in practice without that pressure. There's nobody in the building, and there's nobody worried about a mistake. You go to your next game and you start fearing that mistake potentially, and so you don't play as free and aggressive and as intense. So I do think, again, based on the experience level that we have, this is a good thing to go through when you compare the fact that these guys care and work, and they are talented and skilled. And I'll use Darlene as a perfect example. There were lots of nights he did not look good a year ago, and there was lots of questioning on him. But if you stick by him and support him in times that typically you throw him under the bus, or you get mad at him, or and eliminate some anxiety, as long as they're working and they care. And I see that out of our guys. So you've got every reason to just support them and nudge them through. So I do believe we'll be better because of this.
But Don, do you give any thought to, you've got 4 very, very young players who are probably going to be very good NHL players when they develop. Do you ever think maybe you have too many on one roster that are trying to find their way in the National Hockey League right now with Power and Krebs and Quinn and Turner?
That is a lot, Paul. Absolutely. So that is a legitimate, observation that you have that young, and it's a challenge for those guys as young, and not that number of guys is a challenge. You would think, can they develop at the NHL level? I think they can, and we've seen that in the past. And then you've got to support them. And losing Okposo is enormous. I think everybody knows that losing Samuelsson is enormous, because it's more ice time for Owen, and more situation time for Owen, and more against top players for Owen. And then we were missing Zemgus the other night, but yes, you put a roster together with young players. You understand that could happen, and are you willing to take that risk? Like I say, we're without Okposo, we're without Samuelsson. Is it going to hurt those players' development? That would be the question and concern, and I don't feel it's going to hurt J.J. Turka or Jack Quinn or on and on in that situation. yeah, I'd like to win more. We'd like to win more. And we want to win more. So it's a tough act to balance. But I think when we're healthy, we have that support. I think we're looking now, we're missing some key guys, not just missing guys, but key guys that are that experience that would help in those situations.
Is it just support for guys to keep them from falling into that, after the bad luck after something like that, to keep them from getting sucked down into the negativity of that? Is it just support, or is it something else that needs to be?
Can you rephrase that again or say that again? I'm trying to understand the question.
Guys getting caught in, something bad happens on ice and the heads come down a little bit.
Yeah.
Is there something other than just giving them the support?
You have to give them the knowledge. I mean, they have to understand what happened and what's within their control. So it would be you've got to be able to, when they're losing confidence from something in a game, be able to show them that they actually can initiate, dictate, influence, take charge through video, through basic evidence to them, so they feel they're in control. It's not an overwhelming feeling. And with what you had mentioned, Paul, you could bring in, I guess you could bring in more older players, but then you've got to keep players happy all the time. There's healthy scratches and things like that. So at some point you got to make a commitment and go with it and push it and see it through. Or so yeah, you run the risk of, if your older players get hurt and you don't have a lot of them, that there's more responsibility for younger players. But as long as it doesn't crush them, and so that's the big thing for us. That's why I say support. Darlene was a perfect example. Support him when he's going through hard times. He's talented, and instead of trashing him. So.